Right. Welcome back to What She Said Sports. Right. So we are live on What She Said Sports. Give everybody a chance to find us over here. There we go. Hey Charlotte, how you doing? Let me get something. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is fine. All right, we're back. Okay, so guess what? I heard somebody say what we've been talking about. And this is not about football. This is about the WNBA. So y'all know that yesterday we were talking about what? We were talking about how there were what, three players from the Connecticut Suns ejected from a game, and none of them were Caitlin Clark, right? So, you know, Caitlin Clark is compared to Larry Bird, but not for the reason that most people think, not for his legendary style of play per se. It's something else about him, the flopping, etc. Right? And people are asking, is Caitlin Clark the Michael Jordan of the NBA? Again, not for her play on the court, but she doesn't get right. Like LeBron doesn't get calls, Michael Jordan doesn't get calls, Caitlin Clark doesn't get calls, right? And y'all know there was just an NBA draft. There's a whole crop of new rookies that have come in, and one rookie in particular, I just checked like the top five for each category: offense, defense, rebounds, etc. And her name is on the list twice. Paige Buckers. Before she even got to the WNBA, she already had a shoe deal. I saw her do an endorsement with Nike and Coach, etc. Right? And all people can talk about right now is who? Caitlin Clark. Now, true, the Indiana Fever is doing well reportedly. I haven't started, watching. I think Angel plays today. I'm probably gonna watch her play. And I have some favorite players, the Atlanta Dream. Which before this started, I was looking for my Atlanta Dream hat, and I had on the Atlanta Dream like a baseball jersey for the Dream. So at any time you see me, I'm probably gonna have on either HBCU gear because this is Morehouse, or I'm gonna have on sports related gear because that's pretty much where I live for the most part, right? I'm a true sports fan. I'm an HBCU grad and HBU supporter. So pretty much my casual gear is gonna somehow involve that. And some of my really nice stuff too. So I'm definitely qualified to talk about this. And even though I haven't been full on watching the dream or going to the games, because I usually go to the games, I haven't been doing any of that. Just like I didn't go to any of the Atlanta Hawks games. Why? Because they can position themselves to win and they just choose not to. So I refuse to spend my money. And I just tune out the NBA altogether. Another year went by, didn't even watch the finals, had no interest. And when Boston was in it last year, I also didn't watch. That was a first for me. So we're 2 years in a row. So I told y'all the WNBA, in my opinion, was using what I felt like was racism as a marketing strategy. Meaning that the WNBA for years have had a good product. They just chose not to advertise it because they didn't want, I guess, the majority of the women in the league who are black to be what? The face of the league. I stand by it, 10 toes down, right? And when Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese was coming out of college, a lot of people don't know if Caitlin had stayed at Iowa, the number one player in the draft would have been Rickea Jackson. So we don't really hear a lot about during the season, but in the off season, she's definitely a brand. Um, and once Angel Reese did this, right, uh, it was up, but not for the reasons that it should have been. Not because you know, Angel Reese is good, Caitlin Clark is good. Not for the basketball, for racial politics. That's who it was. And now here we go, going into the second season for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese out the gate. Caitlin Clark files, Angel Reese flagrant foul, right? And then what happens? You get a commentator, a black man who's married to a white woman, Robert Griffin III, um, whose wife is sitting right there in the background, and he says what? Nothing about the foul, but he just singles out who? Angel Reese. Angel Reese must not like Caitlin Clark. He says nothing about the foul. So he's being willfully ignorant. That's what that is. You're being willfully ignorant when you see Caitlin Clark get a flagrant foul for Angel Reese. But you talking about Angel Reese must not like Caitlin because of her reaction to the flagrant foul. That's being willfully ignorant. That's what that is. So Ryan Clark comes out, he talks about it. He speaks from his personal experience and what he knows about RG3, right? And people said Ryan Clark attacked RG3's family, which he did not. He called out a valid point, right? About who Robert Griffin III is, how he fetishizes white skin, right? And this is second wife, and she's white, and how he makes these jokes at work, which are truly inappropriate, which might be why he got fired, right? Um, so Ryan Clark didn't say anything wrong. He just pointed out the weirdness in fetishizing it, and I likened it to the movie Silence of the Lambs, right? That's just kind of not normal behavior. So here we are, and we move past Caitlin Clark flagrant foul from Angel Reese into what? A whole melee between a bunch of white basketball players, women, right? So you got two black guys on the podcast referring to them as jealous haters, and then somebody said thugs, and I said thuggish ruggish bone. That's what this is. That's what this is. And the women that got ejected, none of them was Caitlin Clark. She just got a foul, and they let her stay in the game, whereas the other women got kicked out. Not her teammate, Sophie Cunningham, who, I have as a WNBA baddie from last year, very feminine. I had never seen, I didn't know she's a Taekwondo champ because clearly she went at JC Sheldon, and I felt like they were bullying JC Sheldon initially. And then, of course, all of the Connecticut Sun come to help JC Sheldon. Marina Mabry got annoyed with Caitlin Clark, right? So the Connecticut Sun get kicked out. I don't know what the hell happened to Sophie Cunningham because after the game she posted a message like "Come with it," like this, right? It's not funny because kids are watching this, right? And then Caitlin, she just gets on to go on the plane and they go on to win, yada yada yada. So people are saying, is she Michael Jordan? Meaning she don't get no calls and she gets to stay in the game and other people get ejected, right? And there's people on the internet trying to cry these damn tears, talking about they targeting Caitlin, they jealous of Caitlin. I'm like, bullshit. Bull crap. I would just call it BS. I'm like, I said this last night, and today somebody with a blue sweater on the facility echoed exactly what I said. He was sitting in Chase Daniel's seat. I don't even know who he is. I commented, blue sweater guy. He gets it. He knows. He's sprinkling. You know what he said? He said, Caitlin sprinkles this. Yes, she's a shit starter. She knows what she's doing. I watch overtime basketball with the women right here in Atlanta for a little bit. Every now and then I see what's going on. I maybe can call one player by name. But one of the games, the tournaments I was watching, the announcer person said, why are y'all all so nice when we're asking y'all about each other? And they were like, because we just all cool with each other. So see, at that high school level, they're cool with each other, right? They talk trash. But over time, wanted MCs, the announcers wanted the girls to talk trash to each other. But they were so polite and nice to each other that they wouldn't do it. So I guess for overtime it wasn't fun because they refused to trash talk each other. They would ask them about one another and the girls wouldn't take the bait. And they just came out and said, kids, because they in high school, right? You still friends at that level. Now, when you get to college, it's a different story. So essentially what has happened is what's going on with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in college has been clarified. See, it's not really about race like they thought. LSU versus Iowa. It's not race, the flagrant foul. And Angel Reese's reaction to a flagrant foul that people act like they were willfully ignorant and did not see. Because now, all over the place, is a bunch of white basketball players and women fighting, right? So people are trying to divide them, whether Caitlin is liberal and if this person is straight, I'm like, it don't matter, they all right. So what you gonna say now, right? Nobody's saying that JC Sheldon doesn't like Caitlin Clark. I don't know whether JC Sheldon likes Caitlin Clark. I know she needs some Taekwondo lessons because they was just taking advantage of her. But Caitlin Clark started the whole thing before Caitlin pushed JC Sheldon in the chest, like get the hell on out my face. And yeah, Sheldon might have been saying something, but Caitlin pushed her on the chest like, get the hell away from me, or screw you, or whatever. And when she did that, that's where it started. The physicality. See, you can do this. You can chirp. But the moment you push or you shove somebody, it's especially if the person that shoves the person that's talking, which is normal, and the person that shoves never gets calls. And that's what happened. That's why the Connecticut Sun came running. You think they don't talk about the league, around the league, that Caitlin don't get no calls? Not only do she not get calls, she instigates crap. Like the dude say, she sprinkles it. She splits it. So they called it chippiness. It wasn't chippiness when it was Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It wasn't chippy when Angel Reese did this at LSU. It wasn't chippy when Ronald Griffin III said Angel Reese don't like Caitlin after Caitlin Clark filed Angel Reese. But see, last night, because it's a bunch of white women, it's chippy. So see, they have a faction of people that want to make it about race in the WNBA. That this only happens when it's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Trash talk happens, period. To the point where Overtime was disappointed that they didn't have the girls trash talking. But in the WNBA, they do trash talk. And Caitlin is not the best WNBA player. Just sat here and looked at the stats to see who were the top five. And Caitlin Clark's not on the team. She's number one in 3-pointers, but she's not exceptionally ahead of Ryan Howard, who plays for Atlanta, who's second. It's like 3.2 to 3.7. 3.2 to 3.3. That's not exceptional ahead. And I didn't see Enrique Ogunwale's name at all, which either she's having a horrible season to start or she must be injured. And I'm going to go with she must be injured, right? Let me talk about the people's names who are at the top. These are the people who ball out, who play hard, who are being ignored, not for the best player. Because if you're the best, you should be like Paige Buckers. As a rookie, Paige is in 2 categories, right? They should really be talking about her. But there's something about Caitlin that they want to latch onto. And I'm going to tell you what I noticed. Caitlin Clark, in my honest opinion, is trying to distance herself from her fan base who's coming with the vitriol that's racially biased. She's trying. Let me tell you when she started. In the off season, she said the WNBA is built on the backs of Black women. Facts. But I was happy to hear her say that, but she should have said it last year, right? But see, last year she was in a quandary because they were trying to use her to defeat all Black women basketball players in the WNBA, even though she wasn't better than them. She wasn't. Just like right now, she in one category and she's not ahead by a mile, right? And then I think the best player who won the MVP for last year gotta be her. And I didn't even look, but I didn't see her name, and her name was at the top last year. So she's probably hurt. Arike Ogunwale, I think, still plays for the Dallas Wings. That's who won the MVP in the WNBA All-Star game, followed by Alicia Gray, who's one of my faves that plays for the Atlanta Dream. And she's a dog. She is a baller. Both of them are. They bring the physicality. And people only got to see Enrique because of All-Star, right? And people were like, why didn't Caitlin play in All-Star? Because other people like Alicia Gray, who won both skills and 3 points. Would have showed her. So essentially, Caitlin's back this year. I guess she was injured or something like that. And she, they want to say she's the cash cow of the league. And there are a lot of people that these games are sold out and that she's not even playing in because it's not Indiana's playing. It's the Chicago Sky or it's the Dallas Wings. The Dallas Wings got new investors. And I knew at the end of the season, they had new investors for a reason. And I knew they was going to fire their coach. I was just wondering how long it was going to be because I didn't understand how you had Enrique Obagamwale and we don't know about it. Shouldn't have had to wait until All-Star to see. We should have been talking about her. But see, that's what they're doing. They're talking about who they want to talk about. And it doesn't mean the person is the best. And just like with the NFL, the media is aiding and abetting with these conversations. Oh, she's like Larry Bird, not for her on the skill play, but for her flopping. Oh, she's like Michael Jordan, not for her on the skill play, but because she don't get no calls. Oh, is it too early to say she's the LeBron James of the league? Hell yes. And not for her play, but because nobody will give her calls. And see, the difference is, and I don't really watch them like that. She starts it, and she know it. So not only do you see her, in my opinion, quietly distancing herself from the people who spew vitriol at Angel Reese because she's black, people who have referred to themselves as her fan base, right? I see her holding somebody's black kid, right? I see her doing the Shedeur. She got more swagger and more confidence about herself. She playing ball like this, right? But she's also doing this and doing this and doing this because before she pushed JC Shelton, she elbowed some chick braids. I don't even know who it is. And that's why Connecticut came running because they knew she was not going to get a cop. And they got ejected and she did not. So they were right. See, if people could be honest about Caitlin like Blue Sweater on the facility, I don't even know who that is, and say she is a good ball player, but she talks trash is equally and she shoots 3 points, meaning she's a good 3-point shooter. She might be a good facilitator on the floor, but she talks trash with the best of them. So give her a crown for being a flopper and a trash talker and somebody that doesn't get calls, even though they should. If they could be honest about that, then they could be honest about who really is the best in the WNBA. So, I like Caitlin. I don't watch for Caitlin. I'm an Angel Reese fan, right? But I'm also an Alicia Gray fan. I'm also an Enrique Obagamwale fan, right? I'm also a fan of the Vince Collier, right? I think I like Asia Wilson, right? But I'm gonna sit down and devote my time to only probably one team, and I'm probably gonna go to the games for Atlanta because I'm in Atlanta. But I'm probably gonna check for the highlights for the Chicago Sky because I don't watch the games like I used to. Just because he get caught up in all of this when I know for a fact that the NBA could do something about Caitlin Clark's fan base, but she decided to do something about it by quietly distancing herself and letting them see black people. I ain't got no problem with black people. Because see, when she came into the league and one of her now teammates, I can't think of her name, Aaliyah Boston, was trying to build a rapport with her, and Caitlin seemed a little cold. People were saying, "Oh, she's not comfortable. Like she's not comfortable around black people because she's from Iowa." Why is Iowa? From the state of Illinois. Okay, uh, not far. Because when I was there, I looked up and I was in Illinois, and I know I was in. I think I was in Illinois, and I ended up in Iowa, and I wasn't even driving. So it's not that far. Okay. So they were trying to separate black from white by saying she's not used to black people. I'm like, that's bull crap. Because she been playing basketball for a minute, right? And if she been in any AAU leagues, these girls know each other. Just like overtime, the girls in high school don't jaw jack because they know each other. They're still on that level. But see, when you get to the WNBA, you got the league being silent. And that's why one of the first few games, they had to kick a fan out because the league is silent about how Caitlin Clark's fan base spews vitriol and non-basketball commentary to Angel Reese. But now that they see, everybody's white in this last situation, they don't have nothing to say. And that's what the WNBA needs to step up and say, hey, going forward, we have a zero tolerance for racism. We don't have fan bases. We don't allow fan bases to spew vitriol that make derogatory comments based on race about players. These are just basketball games. But see, that's why a fan thought it was okay to try to attack Angel Reese like that. That's why they got to keep banning fans because they perpetuating it. They're perpetuating the racism. Caitlin is the one taking a step back. I don't have a problem with black people. That's what she letting you know. And I ain't mad at her for that. She doing it silently. Why? Because a lot of people have bought into financially that position. But that's not what she want to deal with. Because how is that easy to deal with when you know damn well you ain't better than all these girls out here? Most of them black. And they want to put you on a pedestal in front of them, and they've been here forever grinding, and they want to act like they don't see them. If you go along with that, you ain't gonna have no long career. So she wasn't being attacked. She's a trash talk, and she don't have no problem with it. So the rest of the people who think it's about race need to shut the hell up. They just out there playing basketball, and they know she don't get no calls, and they know she start trash. That's what the takeaway from last night was. Just like Larry Bird is a flopper, she a trash talker. So that's what it is, And I'm glad it's finally out. I'm glad the truth and the disparity is finally out. And I'm glad she's showing people she has no problem with black people. I'm glad she came out and said, because to me, I can see she's quietly distancing herself from those people who want her to be seen as the great white hope. That's what they want her to be. She's like, I gotta play with these women. I'm not about to sit up here and build a relationship with people who have a problem with black people when I have to work with the majority of black people every day. Smart move. Smart move. Right? So Caitlin knows she a trash talker. That's why when Angel Reese did that, she was like, it's just, whatever. Right? Then yeah, they both are the best in their respective categories. Angel's the best rebounder right now. Caitlin Clark is the best three-point shooter right now. Or either one of them ahead by a mile? No. They just at the top. And then when they play against each other, one of them want to walk away as the best, even though it's two different categories. That's just the competitive nature of the game. It's the fans. It's Caitlin fans that see black versus white, but they didn't see that last night. That's why they're quiet today. And Angels fans basically spend all their time doing what? Trying to fend off the trolls who are coming at Angel Reese from a place of malice. Most people will tell you they like Caitlin. They like what they see. But they know that the media is propping her up. She's not the best hands down. She's the best three-point shooter for now. So let me see what y'all saying about that. Hey y'all. Hey Marla, welcome back. Tina, how you doing? Freeman, hey Freeman, how you doing? 400 Circle Media, welcome back. Thank you, Gracie, welcome back. Charlotte, welcome back. Thank you, Blue Moon. It said, is that the same Clark that was battling with Angel Reese? Yep. Yes, that's her. Yep, that's her. Marla said, oh, okay. To me, she's like a female version of Dennis Rodman, getting people head starting their drama. Yeah, that's it. That's really just it. You got it, Marlon. Um, it said Asia Wilson is the best. She won back to back, right? And they don't talk about her like that. Mind you, Asia Wilson just had a shoe released by Nike and it sold out like that. Because why? The media is once again aiding and abetting the league's preference. So now you see the NFL, the media is aiding and abetting preference over talent. The WNBA, the media is aiding and abetting preference, regardless of talent. They don't give a damn preference. There's everybody in the WNBA is talented. Everybody. There's only 143 women, and they come from the best. And again, her name is not on all categories. Paige Bucker should be the one that's all they talking about. But see, now that they have heavily invested in Caitlin from her rookie year, they got to keep her name up there. See, this is politics. This is politics of the sport. This is politics of the game of basketball. That's why I don't watch the damn Atlanta Hawks because they could position themselves to win. But if Trey Young ain't holding it down, they just let it all burn down. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm like, I came to see good basketball. These damn tickets, these tickets not cheap. Y'all play twice the damn week. So let's get it together. Politics of the sport. Yeah, I watch the WNBA from time to time. Loves me some Queen Asia. Yes, Asia's a beast. Whenever Asia played Angel Reese last year, let me tell y'all, on my Instagram, I would post, well, they didn't tell us that Asia, they didn't talk about it. They didn't advertise these games because it's Asia and Angel Reese. That's what pissed me off. Because when those two play, oh, it's a dog fight. It's good, it's physical, and somebody gonna win. And Angel was mentored by Asia Wilson. So that's why it's fun to watch. But they don't put that as the marquee game. Because why? They don't want to put Asia and Angel out there like they the face of the league. See, the NFL, like, we ain't gonna have no face of the league if it can't do what the hell I want it to be. It should be Cam. Hands down. You don't see that? You don't see, did they make Caleb the face of the league last year? No. Politics of the sport. And that's what upsets me. And I have to get to a point where, I have to be real about this, right? You see, when you see what they're doing, right? How can you support it, right? And then, you take a step back from it, but then you check on your players and you try to understand their perspective for still playing. I'm like, Angel Reese got a contract. I feel like once her contract is up, she out. That's really how I feel. The person who I said was number one in offense name is Nafessa Collier. She's co-owner of what? Unrivaled Basketball. See, I can respect it because she did something. But unfortunately, they still got to be tied and tethered to the WNBA. I don't know how long this going to last. I personally wish that wasn't the case because that's how they keep them from getting to ahead of them in competition. Meaning that's how they keep Unrivaled, try to keep it aligned with the WNBA rather than let them be fully independent, even though they went out and secured sponsorship, TV deals, all over the place, like you should do. Something the WNBA has never done. And they could have. They chose not to. They devalued the product when the stars were black. And they took Caitlin and said, we're going to make her the star last year over every damn body, even people on her team, even though people on her team were better than her. Even though Caitlin struggled, I watched them go on an 11-game run and lose. I was like, how long is this going to last? And then what happened? The coach was like, okay, I'm going to take her out. Then they fired the coach. That's how deep it is when they choose to invest in somebody that they prefer and not talent. Shedeur got caught speaking. What? What happened? Is that really true about Shedeur? He ain't got time to be doing time all this fast. It said no, they're going to fake it. They're going to talking about his character until training camp starts. Oh, okay. Yeah, the bottom line is that bigger stars get more leniency because of ratings and viewership. Right, Terrence. And they were trying to say that Caitlyn has a target on her back. No, she not. She wouldn't have a target on her back if she wasn't starting trash. If she and it's so crazy. It's so crazy to watch her elbow people. She don't get no calls, but the moment that the Connecticut Sun bitch comes, she all of a sudden got hit in the eye and she on the floor. But nothing about what happened before that gets discussed. Like the blue shirt said, she sprinkles that. She play like this. And she talk trash. She likes it. That's what they do in basketball. But they try to use it to play racial politics. And now, as of last night, they cannot. So I'm glad that has been clarified. Shedeur got stopped last night driving on 71 North in Ohio. He was given a ticket. He was driving 160. What? 160. Shedeur was driving? Well, you know, that is surprising actually. Normally he's not even by himself. But I guess I'm hear more about that. Here's my thing. Here's the danger. So I guess we done with that. Here is the danger of Shadeur's situation. Okay. Um, One, there's nothing you can do to make people like you that refuse to acknowledge who you are. That's just a life lesson. Two, the longer you stay in this situation, and the more they reject you or find excuses to reject you, it will eventually begin to mess with you. Eventually. Because you think you got to be perfect. You trying to force yourself to be perfect. You doing everything you can and they don't see it, right? So, uh, he gonna have to be honest with himself and maybe, accept the fact that it might be time to do something else. Then again, maybe he thinks uh, that's the kind of people they like because it is, right? Stephon Diggs, this Ruggs guy that I don't know why Adam Schefter's talking about him because that's who they want to hold up. See, Shadeur's a good guy. He didn't fit the stereotype of poverty, being impoverished. He didn't fit the stereotype of having a criminal record. He's not illiterate. He's educated. He's young. He's black. He's gifted. He's talented. He's from a good family. So let me look right fast. Since y'all telling me what's happening, let me look. I'm just shocked that Shador was outside this late, I guess. Mhm. But you can't be running around trying to be perfect for people who excuse imperfection from others. It says Shedeur Sanders issues blunt forward response when asked if he'll be a Browns quarterback. I don't see that. I don't see that, guys. Where are y'all seeing that? I was hoping that it wasn't true. I don't see it. I mean, when I'm on social media and I click on news, let's see. Shedeur Sanders can make NFL history, reveals what he's hearing about Shedeur Sanders, fantasy football. See, for the next 5 weeks, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Um, there's just absolutely nothing. I don't see anything about Shadua. So where did y'all get that from? Google. Tina said it's on Google. Okay, let me look. I'm on Google. I'm on news. Let me refresh. Mm, no. On Google from what outlet? 7 hours ago, Browns. Shadua Sanders expected to start for Browns, but roster spot uncertain. So how you gonna be expected to start if your roster spot is uncertain? Wild trade predictions for Shador 4 hours ago. Shiloh 35 minutes ago. Shiloh Sanders made Dion nervous when he trained him 2 days ago. What outlet reported this? Because y'all got to remember, some of these outlets are trash. It said he's still a young kid, prone to making mistakes. It said just ask, did he receive a ticket for speeding? Let's see. Did Shedeur Sanders get a ticket for speeding in 2025? Let's see. What was the outlet? I don't see it. Um, Let me spell his name because I don't know why, but Google never gets it right. The news is the last thing. Wait until an official report says it. What outlet was it? Let's see. Mm-mm. Mm, I don't see it, guys, but I'm just still searching. Hold on. Browns rookie QB cited for speeding. Here we go, 69 minutes ago. Okay, so that's from Fox. Shedeur Sanders busted for speeding, allegedly drove 101 miles, 7 hours. Shedeur Sanders fall out of the NFL draft first round class. That's a month ago. Why are they posting that? Cam Ward faces charges as they adapt, faces challenges. Oh, here we go right here. Shedeur Sanders, Rolls Royce ticketed. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up to the top. So two outlets. One is Fox, the other is TMZ. So let's go to TMZ 7 minutes ago. All right. Shedeur Sanders busted allegedly 101 in a 60 um, highway early Tuesday morning. This, according to court records, the 23-year-old fifth round pick was out at 12:24 when cops stated he was driving 41 miles over the posted speed limit. The quarterback was issued a citation. Well, that's good. He only got a ticket and will be able to plead his case in front of a judge on July 3rd or pay a $250 fine and move on with his life. Now, we know that ain't going to happen. Sanders was driving a Dodge pickup truck with Colorado plates at the time of the traffic stop, according to a citation obtained in TMZ Sports. Sanders joined the Browns this past yada yada. Left an impression so far by his off-season training. Is also the son of Hall of Famer. Okay, so he got a ticket for driving over the speed limit. They let him go home. $250 fine. He speed. Okay, I don't think Henry Ruggs and Shedeur Sanders in the same conversation. If he had hurt somebody, maybe I don't know Ruggs' situation, but maybe they'll like him now. There you go. They maybe they'll like him because they damn sure didn't like him when he was squeaky clean. So now that he got a speeding ticket, maybe they'll want him to be the quarterback now. Maybe they'll be fine with him being the star. Let's see how they spin it. Because if they quietly dismiss Justin Tucker, right? Uh, let's see how they handle. Yeah, I just read it, K Hayes. It said he had to be worried about no damn speed ticket as long as he ain't hit nobody. Now, why was he going to me? See, look at things a little differently. Um, is he feeling the pressure of being rejected? Probably. Could happen. Does he drive like that all the time? Maybe, depending on how many other speed tickets he got. If not, it could be a sign of a bigger problem. What did Coach Prime say overnight? Let's see. Something about your peace. Let me look. This happened at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Well, they can't say he perfect no more. Mm, see, that's one thing about young people under the age of 25. You know, things happen. It said you got to place your peace before your problems. Right now, you're allowing your problems to suffocate your peace. Therefore, your problems overwhelm your peace. Make your peace a priority and don't allow anything or anyone to come before your peace. There you go. Right. This came out this morning. This happened with Shedeur by midnight last night. Uh, if you think that this is relative to that, you've got to place your peace before your problem. So, see, here's the thing. All right. I saw Shedeur at about yesterday in the afternoon. He posted a picture, looked like he got like some new furniture or something. He had a smile on his face. The dangers of the situation that he's in at his age is exactly what is happening. And it could get worse because young people don't know how to deal with racism like this. Vince Young, what did he go through? The same thing. What's their similarities? Force the teams that don't want them. Dealing with people ostracizing you. 2,000 people got your phone number. Yes, this does manifest itself into acting out. It absolutely does. But that's also why jails are so full with Black people under the age of what? 25. Frontal lobe is not fully developed when it comes to impulse and good decision making. So he got to sit down. And his dad going to have to sit him down. And Coach Prime got to remember, you won the quarterback. So while you made it, despite the odds, his odds are greater than yours because he's a Black quarterback. They don't even talk about Shiloh because he's not a quarterback. At some point, y'all going to start to realize this is about 17 to 32 quarterbacks. This is a lot of pressure for somebody who was up here all their life to finally get to their dream and somebody just stomping all over them. I don't like you. I don't want you. That's a lot for somebody his age to deal with it. Look how Fish Young dealt with it. This could end poorly. Coach Prime got to pull himself to the side and say, damn, what I'm going through, I got to get to my son. Yeah, because he could be crashing out. This could be the beginning of the end of it. Kyron Lacey, what happened? This is too much. This is too much. If something would have happened to Shedeur and we lost Shedeur and they found his phone and found notes where he, processed what's happening in the league and it came to what he's dealing with, which is nothing but racism, then people gonna want to cry. But I talk about this every day and people want to act like they don't hear me. Willful ignorance. So now he gonna have to deal with his character. He was already defamed when he was doing well, when he had done nothing. And now they got something on you. This could end badly. Young people can't deal with this. The young people, whether they had an impoverished background, a traumatic background, they can't deal with this kind of pressure. Racism is actually a health condition because of what it does to you. And then you got the media just repeating stupidity. If he gets to start a job, why are we debating? Why are we debating talent? If talent should start, why are we debating if the best should start? See, I said it the other day. Miss Pilar is a good one. That's why I told her she a good mom. I'm serious because I know I'm a mom. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way, bro. And I know she didn't want to sit back. See Coach Prime? See Coach Prime? Go catch hell. I'm telling you, if something happened to his son, and people gonna be like, you know what? Because here's the thing. You gotta go to him. Okay, you horse. You gotta go to him, son. We gotta be honest about what this is. This racism. And if they don't want you, they don't want you. And you can't impose your will on people who are racist against you or who just don't want you, period. And we gotta be honest about the history of Black quarterbacks in NFL and ask what makes you different. Nothing. They shunned a lot of talent. They shunned yours too because of what's at stake. They was only okay with it if you came in as a backup or if you was no threat to taking over. You were a threat to taking over and you the chosen one. He said his spirituality grew. He gonna really need it right now. He gonna really need it right now. Because all I know about Shedeur, he too much. And you can't just say, you can't let your peace take over your problems. He's too young to deal with that. Coach Prime was not a quarterback. And he still had it rough because he's a Black NFL player. But being a Black quarterback is a whole different story. I reached out to PJ Walker yesterday. I reach out to a lot of these guys. I might not ever hear back from him. I sent him my link to my page. I said, if you had one word to describe your experience as a quarterback with the Cleveland Browns, what would it be? I pointed out all of these guys have a case. They refuse to sue. Why? Maybe they have retirement benefits and they want to keep it. Maybe they signed a waiver somewhere in their contract that they can't. But it's ridiculous that so many of them have had to endure, have had their careers shortened, their characters assassinated. This proves that Shedeur should just went to Canada like Warren Moon. Now I get it. During the draft, they didn't know what was coming down the pipeline until it was time because they lured them in. But Coach Prime and Shedeur got to be honest. Shiloh too. You got to be honest and admit what's going on, what they don't want, who you are, and how you play a part in what they don't want to happen. And admit that they will destroy you unless you're going to destroy yourself first. We all know Shedeur is a good kid. The pressure is probably just too much because no matter how good he is, they still trashing him. He thinking it's a fair fight. My dad survived in the league, not as a quarterback. And that's the difference. You got to be honest. So, what makes you different from any other black quarterback who had to endure? Jalen Hurts just won the damn Super Bowl, and they don't even have the most prime time slots, and they're willing to take it out on the entire organization. Do you know why? Because when another organization gonna get a quarterback, I ain't gonna get a black one because they ain't gonna put us on TV. That's pressure, and this is probably where I get off boat. It's too much that can be done that's not being done. It's too much comfort. There's no sense of urgency to hold the NFL accountable for what they did to Shedeur. And I told y'all, there's nothing he can do to make them start him or keep him in the league when it's already been set up to cut him. So if this is what happens and he's still on the roster, what you think gonna happen if they push him out the league? He's young. They don't like to give young black boys the benefit of the doubt of being young. Thankfully, he got the right officer who let him go home with a ticket. But his daddy better get up there fast, and his mama too. And they gonna need to sit down and be honest. And they should have went to Canada, like Warren Moon did. I'm not lying, because you see what's happening. It's gonna continue because there's nothing he can do. They don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders. Now, Lenore Sellers ain't gonna be no different. What makes him different from Shedeur or Cam or Milroe? Milroe can sit quiet as a church mouse in Seattle and we don't ever talk about him. But that means he's gonna have to give up his dreams of competing and being the best and having them to look at his talent and putting him out as the best when they want white quarterbacks willing to take who? Aaron Rodgers, Flacco. Flacco's the last time he had his best season was 2014. Aaron Rodgers was 22. Kirk Cousins was 22. You don't hear nobody asking for Kirk Cousins on their team. You don't hear nobody asking for Aaron Rodgers. This is the NFL doing for obvious reasons. Flacco too. When Flacco was wearing a Ravens uniform, it was said that Flacco was holding the Ravens back. All he can deliver is part time and a lack of melanin. And they'd rather see that and not name a starter at all, just like Cleveland did in 2023. It ain't enough to just say you letting your problems get away in your peace when you're talking about people who are under the age of 25. You got to physically show up for them. You got to physically guide. You have to do it because they drown. And a lot of them don't make it. I just told y'all, what, 2 weeks ago? Keelan Russell's twin sister. They found her what? Deceased. Also under the age of 25. Kyrie Lacey, under the age of 25. I don't know Henry Rose. But see, when it gets that bad that you take somebody's life, it's hard to finagle yourself out of the noose that is the criminal justice system. Luckily, nobody got hurt in Shedeur's case. There was no accident. He could go home. He clearly wasn't inebriated. But this is a sign that should not be ignored. What he is dealing with is immense pressure, and the haters, the racists, they're not gonna back off. They're gonna make it worse. He shouldn't have to walk a straight line every day of his life as the best quarterback in Cleveland because they don't want him to be the starter. At some point, Shadeur's gonna have to realize they don't want me, and they don't want quarterbacks like me to be the majority of the starters. He's gonna have to admit it to himself because that's all it is. And his dad gonna have to admit it. That's gonna likely affect his next recruiting class. Maybe. So I don't have no I coulda, woulda, shouldas other than he should have went to Canada. See, these guys, they gonna have to find something else to do. If you play quarterback, you're gonna either have to switch yourself off, which means history is repeating itself. When they say they don't want black quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now, the timing was the dead giveaway. Why does he have to be number 17? Because the story and the lie did not work with Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe. What's going to happen to the guys next year? You're going to see. Because somebody got to make it to 19, unless they're going to get rid of a few people in the season, like try to force Russ to retire, try to force Justin Fields to retire. And then next year, instead of three black quarterbacks coming in, which is exactly what the trend was in 2024 and 2025, it's going to be one or two. So hopefully, you know, uh, hopefully they make a decision. I was getting ready to talk about when is it time to hang your cleats up. I'm probably still gonna talk about it at 9:30. But then I might talk about whatever else at 9:30. But this is sad because you know this kid, right? He don't go nowhere, he don't do nothing. So you know this is a sign of something. And this is not something that you can just leave your kid to figure out for himself because yes, he might be over the age of 18. Yes, he might be independently wealthy, but he also, like many other people under the age of 25, have what? An underdeveloped frontal lobe. How old were the guys that committed the prank? That so-called prank on Shedeur. We don't even know who the hell that is. Let's see if they hold on to this story. Because if they want to use this against Shedeur, it might be time to press on who the hell made this prank call. Because see, all of that plays into the attack on Shedeur Sanders. They want to talk about somebody being attacked. Shedeur Sanders was attacked and he didn't sprinkle nothing. He just thought he was amongst friends because he thought they were his father's friends. And that's why his father is so stressed because he found out they will sacrifice you and your son. And Shiloh gonna have a decision to make. I mean, if they cut his brother and leave him to the wolves and 32 teams do like they did Lamar Jackson in free agency and they did not need a quarterback, what's Shiloh gonna do? You gonna stay in the league and treat your brother that way? When you said out your own mouth, oh, I know if this is what they do to you, this is what they're gonna do to me. You see? You see how that works? And then how's it gonna affect Travis, who was the fourth Sanders son? What you gonna do when you see them treat your guy this way? When you know he's one half of the dynamic duo. See, don't nobody want to sacrifice nothing. Don't nobody want to stand up for each other. That's why Miles Garrett, whose contract he's like, you gonna get rid of me, so I ain't worried about it. That's why Njoku, and that's why not, right? That's why not Jared Judy. Publicly, maybe privately. How many of them privately have rallied around him? Maybe they don't want to do that because they don't want to risk their bag. That ain't even guaranteed. This is all a big joke that could really have life threatening consequences. I don't think he homesick or anything. I think it's the way I think racism ain't easy to deal with. People don't want to admit that's what you're dealing with. You got the media aiding and abetting the damn racism. That's all it is. They don't want him to be the 17 to 32 starting quarterback. They don't want Milrow to be 18. They don't want Lenora Suggs to be 19. I'm sorry, Lenoris Sellers. They don't want him to be 19. I don't care how good you are. They took one of the best and try to break him. And I ain't happy about this at all. And Miss Pilar need to go check on her son. I told y'all she needed to be out there. See, people said, no, no. Came to the comments and said, don't worry about Shedeur. He good. And see, and what did I say? It takes a village. You're talking about people under the age of 25. See, that's why I'm telling y'all. See, as black people, y'all can't be out here saying stupid shit like that. Oh, don't worry about him. He grown. He over 18. That's what he is. But he ain't 25. And if you know anything about science and human body, and you look at who goes to jail more frequently, not by race, but by age, in any criminal justice system, they got a bunch of 18 to 25-year-olds chained them. Frontal lobe. I'm old enough to run out here and do this, but my brain not fully developed yet. You see the maturity starting to happen as they get closer and closer to 25. It ain't 25 on the dot. It's a little bit before. And somebody came right in these comments talking about, oh, don't worry about Shedeur. He'll be okay. Mm-hmm. What was that? What was that? I feel sorry for him. I really do. Because he dealing with too much. He dealing with something he don't even know he can't change. He don't. And his father need to be honest and say, look, son, you know, God can open the door or you can open it. And if you're gonna wait for God to open it, you better understand what the path could be so you can know where the landmines are. But his father was not a quarterback. And that does make a difference. Barry Sanders wasn't a quarterback either. But when we know that quarterbacks, I know two that wanted to trade. One is Deshaun Watson. And you see how that went. And then the other is who? Terrell Pryor. And he ended up being a wide receiver. So you can't even go to them in the league and say you unhappy. You just get left hung out the drive like who? Vince Young, who like Shedeur was forced to a team where they didn't want him. His OC was even rude to him. Not just Jeff Fisher. It was Jeff Fisher's regime. But the owner could have did something about it. The owner left him out there to be neglected. Why give Vince Young his phone number, the owner's phone number? But then what? You don't come to his rescue. You feed him to the wolves. Because what was the goal? Draft and destroy. They need to start going to Canada. Because Shedeur is one of the best to ever do it, character wise and skill wise. And they didn't want him. But they want to covet people with pink substance. Let's see if they want to protect Shedeur too. The main reason that I did not want him to go to the Midwest, it don't matter where he would win if everybody you work with don't like you. If the people who in charge of the whole league put out a campaign against you, send out your phone number to 2,000 people, it don't matter where you go. And that's why I keep telling y'all, don't hear nobody trading for Shedeur. They rejected him in real time every damn day. That's not easy to deal with. So it ain't about he putting his problems before his peace. He's 25. He don't know how to deal with this. So his mom need to go down there. Coach Parker didn't even know how to deal with this. Because he got his way. It was hard, but he got his way. He was not a quarterback. I want you to look at these are quarterbacks. That was me. I said, don't worry about Shedeur. He been making good decisions his whole life. He only 23, 24. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. If he ever gets in trouble, it'll be a lie put on him. Yeah, okay, well, I want you to watch the next couple of days. We're going to see how they spend this. Let's see if they let it go to the wayside. Or let's see if they use it against him. All I know is his mama needs to be down there and his brother too. He needs guidance through this. I don't care whether you call it racism or foolishness. It's too much for somebody whose brain is not fully developed to deal with. And it's not enough to put out a quote about protecting your peace because no, you got to physically be there. And somebody in his family, his father, who's not in Colorado, if he can get to Cleveland, that's where he need to be. And to be honest with you, the rookies have to report every day. Because I think Miro said he was going back to Alabama. See, you got to get away from that. If you have the opportunity to get away because staying there not going to make them like you. Staying there not going to make them start you. You have already done everything you can do, and you have to admit to yourself before you end yourself. There's nothing else that you can do. 23, thank you. Some people choose the path of least resistance. Racism everywhere. It's not easy to always turn the other cheek. Why are you turning the other cheek? Why you can't hold people accountable? Well, it's not about turning the other cheek. It's about holding people accountable. Yeah, they might fire you, but you better off than ending up with your reputation smeared. See, what I believe, and I'm a big fan of the Sanders family. Um, see, Coach Prime made it. And I heard Shedeur say, I know my father had to deal with as he's not a quarterback. See, this is a whole nother level right here. But it's not anything different than the other quarterbacks. You see what I'm saying? Like, Cam did get devalued in the draft, but he out here competing. What does it say if you the best? You pay me all this money and I got to compete with the guy that failed last year. That could eventually wear on you too. Because you out here playing, you throw one interception and they bench you. Then you confused. You're like, hold on, you paying me all this money, but you gonna bench me? And when playing the game is more important than the money, because they'll have you believe it's not about the money. It better be. That's all it better be about. Because you ain't gonna get nothing else. You ain't gonna get nothing else. They gonna make your life hell, so you might as well, right? It might as well. That's exactly what it need to be about for 4 years or three, whenever you contract up. Consider get your exit plan together. He should have went to Canada. Look at what they went through. Look at everything they did to hold him back, and they still doing it. And the media still doing their part. Y'all are actively debating if preference is better than talent. Didn't I say that this morning? That's what the first podcast was about. Do y'all realize you're debating whether or not the people who are the talented should be the ones to start? Just turned 23 in February. Yep. 2 more years ago. His mom gonna need to go down there. I don't care what he say. This is where you have to guide them. This is where you have to be hands-on. This is where you have to you don't have to ask if you okay. No, that's the answer. Kyron Lacey. Kyron Lacey. He couldn't deal with what happened. Yeah, he did something dumb. A lot of people do a lot of dumb things around that age. Some do it when they older. Some can recover when they're young, and some get, let me look the other way when you're older. Shador might not get that benefit of the doubt. Yeah, they might like it now because they like that stereotype. And that might have been why he did it. Well, hell, they don't like me and I'm good. And they out here talking about this one, this one, and this one. No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. So if you want to survive in this league, you're going to have to be either poor or you're going to have to be a little criminal, or something to get some love. That's the danger of reducing yourself to fit into other people's perception of you. But he too young. even said it last week. I'm like, I don't think Shedeur ever dealt with racism like that. And I was thinking to myself, I think I said it on the podcast. Maybe not, because why? Went to private school, he's been sheltered, you're not gonna mess with Coach Prime's kid, yada yada yada. So this tells me no, he is not. This is a lie. This is why he should have went to Canada. You can't, you can't you do have to get to a point like when God opens the door, you do have to, walk that walk. But what you gonna do if he say the NFL is not the answer? Are you gonna be able to handle it? And sometimes, and I said this last night, Shedeur gonna have to be able to handle if God wants to close that door to the NFL first. And this right here could be a part of it. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just gonna speak my piece. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to lose him, who's such a good person when they fawn and fiend after people who have criminal records and peak substance. That's who they want. So they can hold them up and say, look, this who black people are. But then Justin Tucker gets quietly scooted out, right? Lamar Jackson gets bashed every single year. And he got to come back and justify Mark Andrews. Do you hear Mark Andrews justify anything about Lamar Jackson when people beating up on him? No. But see, that's always the play, right? And I think sometimes the Lamar Jacksons of the world who've been colluded against 2 or 3 times in the NFL, which is why they keep doing it, because people do what you allow. They know you ain't gonna walk away, and I ain't finna give you what you want. And since you won't leave, there you go. It's not worth it. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care who get mad. I know people want to get badges from Colorado and Coach Prime. Coach Prime better go see about his son or send somebody. And I ain't talking about Boo. He seems like a good dude. No, mama or daddy or brother. I'm serious. This is family business. This is not business to be kept quiet. This is the one is starting to crack. And this could be his process of coming to the realization that this shit just ain't worth it. And it ain't me they don't want. They want the stereotype, the impoverished, the criminals. Because the good dudes, look at how they get treated. Bryce Young get dogged out. CJ Stroud get dogged out. Jalen Hurts get dogged out. Caleb Williams get dogged out. You don't never see that happen with no white quarterbacks. We were talking about Quinn Ewers and Shedeur Sanders earlier, right? What's the biggest difference between the way things went down with them in the draft? Yeah, they both got drafted late and make about the same amount of money, but only one got publicly humiliated and defamed and character assassinated. And take that off my board, colluded against. Only one was discriminated against. And then the other one quietly got paid what he lost. See, that's the difference. That's still protection. Said it earlier. Who heard me say Shedeur might be too good for the NFL? And here we are. He gonna have to choose himself at some point. And his father gonna have to choose him too. And his mama and his brother. And I don't mean this in no disrespectful way. I'm telling you, as somebody, he is under the age of 25. He needs somebody to physically be there with him despite what he thinks to make sure that things like this don't happen or get worse. Because now it's already happened. I said it. He too good for the NFL. They don't want his kind. He's strong. He's got to fight to the finish. The Baylor game, 2 seconds left. Nah, this ain't that. See, this ain't that. This ain't that at all. Because he already know he played in the Baylor game. He already know he's capable of. And that just further proves Blue Moon that this is a lie. Because if he can deal with all that being sacked 52 times in 1 year, 30 times in the second year, right? if he can overcome what happened in the draft, still have a positive outlook and mentality. But now he got 5 weeks to get to find out if they don't even allow him first team reps. And all he's hearing is more of the same from the draft. He can't read the playbook. He sees this starting over and over again, just like Bryce Young in year 2 in Carolina. First year, he was sacked relentlessly. And then year 2, he was already sacked, I think, in the first 2 games, 4 or 5 times. He saw that sack train coming right back around, PTSD. He okay now, but he had to hear a whole lot of negativity about him. He had to tune it all out, and he had to get himself and hopefully somebody, and he had to deal with a girlfriend running off with somebody else, and Cam Newton telling us all of it, and Cam Newton being right there in Carolina, being put out of Carolina and wasn't even tradable, and he still threw Bryce Young under the bus. It's not just about being encouraged. You're dealing with young people who are impressionable, who are not equipped to deal with this level of racism. This is masterclass level racism. You have to been through this shit before to deal with it like he dealing with it. And it took a toll on who? His father. So why wouldn't it take a toll on him? Why not? If it took a toll on his father, why would it not eventually take a toll on him? Tell me that. To the point where people praying for Coach Prime for his health, he'd have lost 15 to 20 pounds. What you think is not going to eventually get to Shedeur? They better go see about it. And they better stay there with it. And they better walk him through this. And none of them probably even never dealt with no racism to this level. To the point you got a fan suing because of the way the NFL does business, which is not new. This ain't just about being encouraged. You passed that already. He done all he could do. It's time for some other people to step up. It's time for some other people to hold the damn NFL accountable. It's time for his father to do what the hell he got to do. It's time for his mother to do what she got to do. And Bucky got to go be with Shedeur. If he ain't the one filming in Colorado, if he ain't already in, he does where he need to be. Because his presence is the one that's definitely needed. See, people, when they think you isolated, they can take you down. And they know he wants this. But he don't know or have not come to the realizations why they don't want to give it to him. And that is not something he's used to dealing with. And at his young age, he ain't used to dealing with it on this level. Most people think because you rich and wealthy and you black, you don't face racism. The NFL draft shows you otherwise. And so is Cam's experience in Tennessee and Jalen Milrose in Seattle. Then Jalen Milrose could be quiet. He ain't got to say nothing. He can just sit there quietly and make his money, but he ain't going to get to do what he want to do. Be the best and get chosen. No, somebody got to get hurt. And then they going to put Drew Luck in front of you. Drew Lock or whatever his name is. Now you see what they did. If it negatively affected Coach Prime, why do you think it would not negatively affect Shedeur eventually? Leave it jungle about Andrews for sure. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, because that's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, Charlotte. That's what it is. If it's you see what it has done to Coach Prime. Why do you think this will not affect Shedeur? I'm like, come on now. Who heard me say his mama need to be down there? Who heard me say I told his mom? It's Father's Day. I told his mom, you a good mom, Pilar. She need to be there with her son. She was the one, in my opinion, that was the first one to call the New York Giants out and say, put out the tapes. I was like, let's go. See, Coach Prime feel like he got to protect see you the next class, you better go protect your son. That's what you better do. That's what you better do. Because it's time. See, he got to protect all of that. You better go protect your son. I don't care who get mad. Because I'm about this close to tears. Because I know what happened to Kyron Lacey. He couldn't deal with the pressure of what happened. See, that's next. First is to get in trouble. Then it's the pressure of what have I done to my life? What have I thrown everything away? That's not easy. That's easy to come from at this age. Young people do not see the future. They live right now. The way things are right now, they will be tomorrow. I have messed up everything. That's how they feel. That's what happened to Kyron Lacey. The NFL is wrong for what they did to Shedeur, and this makes that more poignant. But the question is, what is Coach Prime and Miss Pilar gonna do to stop it? And you heard what I said. Somebody being pushed to do something, they better do it. They better do it. Because this is the getting in trouble part. Then there's the realization that I have messed up everything. And if they cut him and take advantage of this opportunity and they throw him to the wolves, y'all better go and put all your arms around him before he internalize everything and take it out on himself. Because that is what happens. And I'm not saying nothing to be rude. I don't give a damn about a clique. There are 30 of us in here and I don't care. Like the button, hit don't like the button. Y'all know how I feel about Shedeur. Hell, at this point, whatever contract was trying to sign, he may have to let somebody else take over if he don't go down there right now. He need to be down there. And if Shedeur can go home, because if Milrow is doing camps in Alabama and don't stay up there, you need to get away from that environment. Because he just gonna think he gotta keep plugging away and they not gonna like him no more. And the media better stop the shit. Go find something else to talk about. It ain't shit to talk about for 5 weeks. And now he got 5 weeks to stir on this. This ain't good. I don't care whether I'm okay. I know this kid don't get in no trouble. This kid don't do stuff like this. We see what this situation has done to his father, and now you seeing what it's getting ready to do to him. And I will remind you of Kyrie Lacey. Couldn't handle the pressure of what he thought he had done to the rest of his life. Because young people don't think about the future like that. They are right now, which is why some of them, what they say, flash out when things happen. And they get on the other side of 25, they get to 27, 28, and they look at life differently. It is a scientific fact that good decision making and impulse happens in the frontal lobe and it is not fully developed. There is actually uh, practices in the criminal justice system built around this. The worst thing I think any black person, but especially a young black man, can do is get himself roped up in the criminal justice system or the courts in any way, shape, or form. Pay that $250 fine and move on. But his family need to be with him. They don't need to come back like tomorrow's just a new day. No. They need to be down there, living in the same house with him, watching him wake up every day, go to sleep every day, checking on him. That's what's needed. Critical care is needed before it get worse. I'm sick of the media, and y'all better start calling them out because they are complicit in this bullshit. All they're doing is aiding and abetting the NFL in their racist practice because they don't want these black quarterbacks to take over. That becomes apparent every single day. I already know that's the case. It just becomes clearer and clearer every day. Let them have what the hell they want. Go play in Canada. Sometimes you got to give people what they want. They don't want you to take your damn talent elsewhere. Go start your own damn league. You are the talent. And what y'all gonna do after y'all see they trying to destroy him? You just gonna go head on and keep on playing, huh? And that's why they know they can do it to you. People do with you a lot. Hey, Eric Jackson, what you say? You ready to relocate? What's going on? You meant to another country? I agree. It's out of character for Shedeur. Oh, this is if it affects Coach Prime, it's affecting Shedeur. See, people thought when the reporter lady asked Shedeur about his father, which she should not have, they did right to reassign her and bring in Oyefuse. They did a good job with that. I will give them that. Uh, and he was like, I don't know what they're going on. People were like, oh, well, maybe it's nothing wrong with Coach Prime. You know what I thought to myself, and I don't know about y'all's family, but I know this to be true of a lot of Black families. When the kids are at school, we don't let them know about shit they can't do shit about back at home. Anybody else know that that's the case? We are not about to call you while you are taking finals or studying for your law school exam and tell you about something that is going on that you have absolutely no control over. And we don't know if it's going to get better or worse. It's so important for you to get wherever you are that we are not about to disrupt you with a hypothetical, a possible, or maybe situation. There's nothing you could do. We're not going to disrupt you. Yeah, I didn't think that he was driving himself anywhere, but he might have wanted to. And I'm telling y'all, he's not making good decisions. It's a lot of stress that he is dealing with. When I watch him out there with those kids and I see him, dancing, I get it. What did I tell y'all about all that dancing? What did I tell you that was about? I told you the same thing about Travis. That's masking something, what I'm dealing with. I heard DC Youngfly say on Dinner Kings, which is almost at 750,000 views in just a few days, is good. Said I was going to put the link in the chat for people to watch it. He talked about, because he lost his wife unexpectedly. And he talks about how he masked his pain through his comedy. And he talks about grief. They say grief hits at any moment and it lasts a lifetime. How he was getting ready to go on stage and he said, oh no, not now. A moment just out of nowhere, get ready to overtake him. And he got to get on stage and perform. And that was a window into what grief is like. I've heard people say it, but the way he described it, I understood it, you know. And he talked about how the moment was coming on, and he was like, I just got to make it from where I'm standing at up the steps to the stage. And if I start my intro, I can make it. So you need something to counteract the grief. It happens uncontrollably, but you got to get to a destination to where you can handle it. You got to get to a place where you can handle the grief. And he talks about how he's laughing and he's shaking, and people think he's being funny, but he's almost crying, masking the pain, all that dancing. Travis, same way. Shedeur just doing what Travis does. It takes your mind off the stress. It channels it. That's how Black people made it through slavery. Dancing, singing. That's how we made it through the worst parts of America. Dancing, singing. I looked at him and I thought to myself, you know, he going through a lot. I didn't think exactly what I thought about Travis at the time, but I had an inkling, but nothing like this. But I did say his mama needs to be there. I said, you a good mom, Pilar. I don't know, Miss Pilar. And I've said it before, somebody need to be down there with you. And I'm serious. And yes, that's a tear. Time to do something else. Time to get ready for the possibility that God opened that door, which He very well may. Because see, one thing about God, He ain't gonna give you nothing you can't bear. And if you in a situation like the one Shedeur is in, and he been enduring and enduring and enduring since we know since January, since February. I say since February, since the combine. Even though they put these statements out, the NFL doesn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur. Then why you draft him? The NFL needs to be held accountable, and I'm dead ass serious. And the players that's holding out need to find something else to do and send a message. They just gonna get some more bodies. So that's why they in the dilemma. But it's time for some divine intervention. That's what it is. Time for some divine intervention against the NFL. Because they're not gonna do right. He doesn't need to be driving anywhere in Ohio. Hmm. All money is not good money. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. So they need to go. They need to understand, and I hope and pray the Sanders family sees this as a sign um, that it's time to gather around Shador and friends. I mean, family, because he can't fend off all of this himself. And this could be the beginning of realization that if God opened this door, this ain't the place for me. God don't want me here. See, you got to get to a point where you understand there's what you want and there's what God knows what's best. Because, like I said, what makes Shador different from Lamar Jackson? You done heard me say that included against Lamar Jackson 3 times. When people changing their votes in the MVP so he don't win. So you want your career to go that way? When you up for free agency, 32 teams stand against you. In other words, what he's going through is what you getting ready to go through. They ain't gave him what he came for yet. What makes you think they're gonna give it to you? Considering what's at stake. See, 17 to 32 wasn't why they snubbed Lamar. They said he was too short to be a quarterback. He was 6'3". He is 6'3". So that was an obvious lie. So they obviously lied on Shador, just like they obviously lied on Lamar Jackson. They said his mental aptitude, he had a mental slight. He wasn't capable. He didn't have the characteristics of a quarterback. They have said the same thing about Shador, and now you hear this BS about the being slow and learning the playbook, which is BS, which is nothing more than setting up the justification for why they A, either get ready to cut him or B, bury him on the depth chart. Tyrod Taylor comes to mind. That's his whole career. And when he finally ascended to what? A starter, he mysteriously had his lung punctured while having a routine injection for pain, something they do every day. And it has happened to nobody else. And he never got his starting job back. I was thinking after we talked yesterday, I said Anthony Richardson is out and need to stay out. And he probably ain't gonna get his starting back job either because of what's at stake. They didn't want Tyrod Taylor to start. They had their preference to start. And who is that? They're practicing. They got to start their own league. I don't know what they're gonna wait on. I said it after the draft. I don't know what else you're waiting on because it ain't gonna get no better from here. And I'm not kidding. It's not gonna get no better from here. I don't know. That's why that young man's father, that's failing your son and your whole family. Financial independence in college is the answer. So they don't have to put up this bullshit that you see Shedeur, Cam, and Jalen Milroe going through. See, people think this is just about Shedeur. Nope, all three of them. And I told you, they're going to get a pre-draft. Hell, they're going to either get them in college, they're going to get a pre-draft, during the draft, or in their careers. And then you have people say, well, you can't say they discriminate against black quarterbacks because Cam Ward went first. Yep. And now he's competing with the guy that failed last year. He's QB1 on the depth chart, and they refuse to name him the starter because now they got to sit back and count and see where everybody is. That's what's happening. That's why they don't want him to be the starter. That's why they don't want Shedeur to be the starter, and they think they done buried Jalen Milroe, and they happy as hell Anthony Richardson is out, and he probably ain't gonna never get his starting job back. And PJ Walker is in Canada, and he might be the happiest of them all. Let's see if he ever responds to me. I just wanted one word to sum up his career in Cleveland. I didn't ask him about the NFL. I asked him about Cleveland because I do think it is quite interesting that they had 3 quarterbacks to divide 7 games, and they didn't essentially name anybody the starter, and they're getting ready to do the same thing with Shedeur. Now, I'll just be honest with you. Shedeur can make it through. He just gonna have to understand what's really happening first, so he can know how to defeat it. And the only way to defeat racism is to don't fight them for what they don't want to give you. You're gonna have to settle for what you get and be happy with it, or you're gonna have to leave and start your own thing. That's your only choice. Because if they know you want to start, they're gonna fight you on it. What did they do during the draft? Every time they tried to rattle Shedeur during the draft, oh, he's falling to number 6. People like that ain't falling. That's just number 6. It's still in the first round, but they made it seem like, oh, it's just the worst thing in the world. He was like, I don't care about that. When he said he wanted to get drafted before his father, then he fell to number 6. When he said he didn't care where he got drafted, then he went 21. When he said it don't matter where you got picked, then he went 144. Only way he gonna make it is probably like Jalen Hurts. I come out here and play football, and I'm gonna leave when I'm ready. Jalen Hurts got his masters. Smart move. You're not in this league for a long time. Have an exit plan coming out of college. 4 years in and out. You have an exit plan before they discard you. Because see what they're gonna do in year 3 is start devaluing the players they don't want to give the 5-year extension to. See, that's just like draft all over again. But it starts in year 3. So here's the thing, and I'm serious. I say Travis Hunter might pull a Uno reverse on them. When he get to year 3, I ain't worried about that. I don't even want to sign no 5-year extension. He might be like, I'm good with the 4 I got. I'm out. That's what they need to do. They need to flip the damn table over. When you hit year 4, you get them retirement benefits, turn in your resignation. And the only way you're gonna survive from year 4 to the end is if you ain't interested in the Super Bowl, or if you a black quarterback, you don't care about riding the bench. Or if you start, you don't care about the negativity they gonna say when you don't win the Super Bowl, like they do Lamar. When I feel like they playing keep away with it. What did I say after Baltimore lost? Lamar Jackson is gonna have to ask himself, do the Baltimore Ravens want to win with me as their quarterback? He might be surprised at the answer. I heard them say they got another new talented person coming to the team, and you had a bunch of them last year. They didn't throw to them. So you go get everybody you want. And they let him think he doing something. Oh, yeah, Lamar, we gonna spend all the money on the talent. Because he give a damn about that. You want the Super Bowl, right? Let me know when you get it. He might get it this year. He better call audible though, because that's the only way he gonna get it. Because the coach's show could have put in somebody that could catch the ball in that weather, because Baltimore, they had people in that game that proved that they were capable. And this guy, Andrews, proved to be bad before halftime, because that's when I started watching. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with him? Wouldn't you know? He's the one that couldn't hold on to the ball. And now who out here defending him? Lamar Jackson. I ain't never heard Andrew defend Lamar Jackson. So I don't know why Lamar Jackson think he got to defend Andrew. Maybe because he think he's the leader of the team. Do I think they will cut him for a speeding ticket? I think they will cut him if he sneezes. And yes, Justin Herbert, junk brother. That's right. I think they looking for a reason. I think they was gonna hold him until they found one. Thank God Isaac Newsom was the Ravens GM. Facts, because Lamar Jackson was finna slide all the way out the draft, just like Shedeur. Again, what makes Shedeur different from Lamar Jackson? That they wouldn't do the same thing that they did to Lamar, to Shedeur. Now you know what happened after this GM, I think in Indianapolis was going around saying Lamar should be a wide receiver because he's too short. He's 6'3", he's too short. He got a mental slight. They talked about his mental capacity, his aptitude test, yada yada yada. Right? And then Isaac Newsom did what? Now you know why they were breathing down Mike Tomlin neck so hard and basically uh getting Andrew Berry to do their bidding for them. There is no difference. That's my point. There is no difference. And you can't say, oh, you have Coach Prime. No, they were going based off talent. Like Lamar Jackson is hella talented. So is Jalen Milrow. So when you sit down and you learn the history, and somebody, maybe I need to send Shedeur the link to my page and have send him all the videos about the black quarterbacks so he can learn the history of the black quarterbacks. Because there's no way he knows it and didn't see this coming. There's no way Coach Prime knows it and didn't see this coming. There's no way. Because I didn't know it. And now that I know it, that's why I'm pissed off with Norris Sellers' father. Because what the hell is wrong with you? What type of time are you on? Because they are not on what you thinking. And who you been talking to? You supposed to secure the bag in college. Did I not say that is what they have to do? Get it in college. Didn't I say these guys go start doing what? Staying in college longer. Why is he in a hurry to get his son in this draft? The 2025 draft. Why is he in a hurry to get his son, who's a redshirt sophomore from South Carolina, to the NFL after the 2025 NFL draft, that you're willing to forego $8 million for something that's not guaranteed? You have no idea of what round he going, and I don't give a damn what they tell you. They say a lot. You got too many damn examples. Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milrow, Jalen Hurt, Lamar Jackson. You got too many damn examples to be that damn naive and foolish. Oh, you have the opportunity to build something special at South Carolina. Oh, well, you ain't fooling nobody. Trying to be what they say a pick me, because that's what that is. After this draft, oh, he trying to be a pick me. Maybe he thinks if he say that they'll start his son. They might. They sure might. They might start him in all the games. They might go on to win one of these damn cotton bowls and sugar bowls that they shouldn't change the name by, because neither one of them or both of them are after atrocities, and they would never ever call any bowl the Holocaust Bowl. So I don't know why the hell he think that his son can get to the top and they can respect it in the NFL after what he just saw. He saw everything but talent appreciated. Hell, Travis was even dealt away from. How's that for appreciation of talent? Tennessee passed on it, and now his contract is not signed. How is that for appreciation? And you're willing to forego $8 million so your son can endure? Get the hell out of here. Take the damn money. Right. It's ridiculous. What did I say? Basketball players not coming out in droves anymore. This was the lowest registration of players for the NBA draft. Guaranteed money. You know why? Because college is guaranteed money. So your son play football. It's not guaranteed. And they out here fighting over what? So the NFL trying to void future guarantees. Who does that? That means it ain't guaranteed. That means they're using the word guarantee to make you feel good, to blind you from the fact that they robbing you and they setting you up to walk on pins and needles, and the chosen one is gonna get the money. And your son ain't the chosen. Show me one that's black that's quarterback that is. Foolish. If that was actually true, foolish. And they laughing behind closed doors and toasting to each other. We got another one. Yeah, they making him think he can come out. They made you think he's gonna come out and be a first round draft pick. See how that went. And you gonna make this foolish mistake afterwards and think you're doing something. You set your whole family up to be embarrassed about non-guaranteed money. You couldn't even learn from Queen Ewer's family. What did Cam say? You can't F with me. Right. That's why. That's it. See, that's it. You don't get where being polite. And that might have been why this happened. Because he see Cam like, yeah, I come out here every day and show them they can't F with me. Difference in personality and how you handle it. See, maybe somebody talks to do to be polite. Don't matter what they do, this, that, and the other. Maybe that's how Coach Prime made it through. Shedeur is a quarterback. You're gonna have to show some tough skin. Show they want to say Cam has an intense personality. I bet they respect it. I bet they respect it, Blue Moon. The situation with Shedeur is very concerning. It should be. It's very, very, very concerning. It's very, very concerning because it's like he don't know what he's dealing with. It's like they don't want to say that that's racism. Foolishness and racism are two different things. You might want to be nice about it, but it's time to take the goddamn gloves off or put some on. Because you see, Cam spoke his mind and he still got a job, even though they probably don't give guaranteed money. But he still had the courage to speak his mind. And maybe Coach Prime is like, well, these are my friends. No, they're not. And everybody sees that. And they made sure that everybody knew that. They made sure everybody knew that. And yeah, they know they went out there in droves. They know it was 31 of them out there at the first game. They don't give a damn what nobody think. I just said she's doing too good for the NFL. And here we are. And that was before this podcast. So yeah, you go look, you think Jalen Hurts give a damn what they think? No. He keeps his life private. He don't give a damn. They put him on a t-shirt showing he got the same facial expression on every emotion. You think he care? No. And he gonna leave when he ready. And if that isn't when this contract is up, he out. And nothing they can say. Lamar Jackson need to do the same. I don't know why the hell he out. And you know what I said on X when he was out here defending Andrews, he called him Andrews. Yeah, Andrews defending you. Why the hell you think you gotta do that? Oh, you think you the quarterback. Oh, okay, yeah. And name only. That's why they colluded against him 3 times. I like Lamar Jackson, but at some point he wants to stand up for himself too. Or just be willing to settle for whatever they give you. Because that's where he is. And all of this going out and getting new talent, it did that. That shit didn't help. So you can go get everybody in the sun and they just gonna be cool with it. They not gonna say nothing and they don't mind spending the money so they can laugh at you. Because just like Shedeur, just like 2,000 people knew Shedeur had a waiver wire attached to his name, which meant he was getting cut regardless of where he ended up. There are people I know within one organization that know he ain't gonna win the Super Bowl until they say he could win it. No matter how talented he is, they have proven that. They have gone out and get every goddamn body for him to throw to, and they made the decision to throw the hoop. That don't mean nothing. Just like the damn Super Bowl. So yeah, Cam's contract is guaranteed. That's why they don't like guaranteed contracts because they can't control you. They can't control you. Miles Garrett said what the hell he said, right? And Joku, like, I'm good. I'm the first string. I ain't worried about nobody. You don't see Jerry Judy saying that. He might be texting Shador privately, but you don't see him going on the record because they all but told him what to do, who the quarterback gonna be. You got to share a locker with Flacco. See, I'm just different, right? I'm just different. This is where my solution oriented brain starts looking for another way to get this bag. It's got to be a different way to do this because this is ridiculous. And let's remember, it's not guaranteed. I hate this, bro. I hate this. I hate this. And I told y'all people was gonna start pointing fingers, but people finna start pointing different fingers outside the NFL. Watch what I tell you. Watch exactly what I tell you. Saw something the other day and I didn't understand it. I think I understand it now. This guy, an older black gentleman, has a channel. I don't know his name. And he was like sitting in his car in his living room or whatever, and he was talking. And it was something about the reason why it said Shedeur shouldn't blame Coach Prime. I'm like, oh, you talking about Shiloh? Because Shiloh was like, this because of you, right? And I was like, maybe he felt like Shedeur blamed Coach Prime for what happened to him. I never heard anything like that. In fact, I felt like I heard Shedeur say his dad did what he's supposed to do. Um, but now there's about to be some finger pointing. Watch what I tell you. Anyway, I'll tell you one of the reasons why they gonna point fingers, right? And maybe they can't, right? Ask the question, what's the difference between Shedeur and Lamar Jackson? So what made Coach Prime think that there would not be any bull jump, considering his son is a quarterback and what's at stake? Did he not know what was at stake with the tide changing in the league? And if he didn't, then I know that's why he thought talent would do it. There's no way he could have known that 17 to 32 was happening this year. People say it's Coach Prime's fault because he thought these people were his friends and maybe he should have known better. I'm like, because they had him up there on that stage. They lured him there. And when he said it was some bull jump and he left, I don't think the email had gone out yet because Shedeur was supposed to be turning his number until right before the draft. And he got a wind of some bull jump. And then later on, 24 hours before the draft, 2,000 people got the phone number. And I don't even know if he knew about that, right? So they were watching the draft like they were looking for something. So either he knew about the email and didn't let on, or he didn't know. And maybe he didn't know because we didn't know about it until when? We knew about it when the prank went public and the truth came out. They told us Atlanta did it. And now you can see they lied on Atlanta. Why? Because Coach Prime used to play there. So let's just say it's about Atlanta. So people will think this is about Coach Prime, which means they doubled down on making Coach Prime a scapegoat. And then if I also make it about Coach Prime, I can hold his other players back, with the exception of Travis, who don't have a contract. So here we are, right back where we started. You don't value none of them because Travis should not be holding out for his contract if you did. And you shouldn't want to fix it in 5 weeks. You should have a sense of urgency to fix it. You see it? Have you heard Travis went ahead and signed his contract? Have you heard they working to get all of these contracts fixed? They won't even talk about anybody else other than Shamar Stewart, which means they're brushing the reality under the rug. So I can't blame Coach Prime for believing that these people were still his brothers and friends, including Shedeur, because of the rooms I saw them in at the Super Bowl. And what? They had Coach Prime in the Ring of Honor with who? Coach Bill Belichick. So they set it up like, we cool with you. And Coach Prime wasn't standing there. It clearly did not hear what? The commissioner, Roger Goodell, say, I'm worried about your father. Now, maybe had he would have been like, what the hell you worried about me for? Because that's what Shedeur asked. Bucky was standing right there. So now people gonna be worried about Shedeur. The same fan base that was showing up to support him, the same fan base that people were starting to say today in the media, now that the teams have gone on until July on vacation, right? I heard the media say today, well, Shadeur's fan base is gonna make a lot of noise. See, they are discounting the fact that football fans see that Shedeur is the best. They're trying to say that this is about Shadeur's fan base making noise. That nobody else other than his fan base thinks he's good. That's where they were going this morning. So Shedeur's fan base is going to start pointing some fingers. Football fans who have said, I'm no longer a New York Giants fan. I'm a Miami fan, but I rock with Shedeur. Those are football fans getting ready to start pointing fingers. If they thought it was loud a week ago when they saw he was the best 2 weeks ago, there's going to be a lot of people that realize that this is a symptom of what caused Coach Prime to lose his voice, of what caused him to lose 15, 20 pounds, of the stress put on him that negatively affected him, that Stephen A. leaned in and said what? Coach Prime said, talked about how this that negatively affected him. And now it's negatively affected who? The one that everybody supports. Oh, I don't like his dad, but his son is the best. Yep. So we're going to see. I think he also thought they wouldn't do that to him. Why, Amber? Tell me why. You got to have a reason to think that, right? Why would you think you will be any different than Lamar Jackson? Why would you be any different than Bryce Young? People were already asking how many times Shedeur going to get sacked. That's why him not starting is actually a saving grace. Because Cleveland already had a bad O-line last year. And they could have an O-line, a bad one this year. Because why? They didn't address it in the draft. Everybody they got, none of them were starters. They're all backups. We already know what that looks like from year to year with a bad O-line, right? It can still show up. Maybe not the whole O-line, but there's spots that seemingly give way at the right moments. So I'm okay with him being like Miro off to the side and we don't see you. And the fan base gonna have to be okay with it because the fan base needs to understand the immense pressure he's under. And maybe this is a sign to the fan base. Don't worry about QB1. What did I say? Don't worry about QB1. Cool with QB2. Not 3 or 4, but 2. I don't need one. Because I know Flacco can't play a whole season. So you're going to put Pickett out there. And that gives me time to see what that O-line do. And if they cut it, I'm going to look at it that God opened the door. And whatever happens next is what God's will is. If they use this to cut him, then okay, that was just an excuse. And we'll be done with Cleveland. That's how I'm looking at it. Because he's too good for the NFL. And he damn sure too good for Cleveland. They have a revolving door of quarterbacks for a reason. So now we're going to wait and see what God's will is. Regarding stress on Coach Prime. Facts, yeah. So now, he got to ask his own questions. I do think his mom needs to be there. Stat. I think his brother need to be there. Stat. I don't care what he say. Oh, I'm good. Yeah, no. See, this is where you have to be real about young people as a whole. And this is where you have to say, yes, his nickname is grown. So then you have to look at this as a sign that there's stress fractures somewhere. Because he is grown. He always does the right thing. So how does this happen? Look at the pressure he's under. Look at what it did to his dad. Now you see it happening to him. And get there fast and stay there. Browns picked up 4 O-linemen and none of them are starters. I have read about every last one of them. I don't give a damn what Pro Bowl they went to. None of them are starters. The one they put at left tackle, I think his left tackle is not a starter. The one from Chicago is not a starter. They are not starters. They did not get starters. None of them are starters. They knew what they were doing with the O-line because they were planning to just have Flacco, who's 40 and can't play a whole season, and no, he just gonna pass out the ball to the 2 running backs. That's why they run a two running back set, which is why Shedeur really don't fit they system. I know, people say the offensive coach runs the same schemes and CU. Okay, yeah, that's fine and good. But if they have three quarterbacks and none of them are starters and they run a two running back set and they didn't get no O linemen or receivers in the draft, they plan to do what? Run the ball. Too many hateful individuals. Facts. Facts. So we get ready to wrap up. We stayed on for 2 hours because I know a lot of people feel some type of way about this, have emotions about this, probably shed a tear too, like myself, because we don't want to see somebody who's young and who's good and who's mature start to show stress fractures because of the racism and the discrimination they're dealing with. It's not foolishness. See, this is what happens when you call it foolishness. It's racism. The O line can play well until Shedeur gets on the field and allows him to get sacked. They can set it up just like that. Fact, Tina, but see, here's the thing. We would know that, right? If Shedeur starts out the gate, we would never know. But if Flacco plays first, if Kenny Pickett plays first in a consistent rhythm for about 6 games, then we get to see what the O line does. And when we get to Shedeur, if they decide to forget how to play football, we can call it out. But I don't think we're going to see Shedeur like that. And I think that might be a good thing. And not only did this happen as a sign to his family, they need to get there and stay there and guide him. They also, this is also a sign for the fan base. Yes, he's the best. We know that. But QB2 is really what it need to be. And if they decide to bench him, then maybe that's God's will because they know maybe God don't want him to get hurt. Because God knows what Shedeur could bear. So maybe that's a sign for the fan base as well. Yeah, we know he's the best. Yeah, we know they wrong, but we don't want him to get hurt either. And he's not in the right environment. And I don't even know if the NFL is the right environment because this tells me that he should have went to Canada. He either should have went to Canada or be okay like Miro, third on the depth bench, because they only paying you $4 million anyway. But all they're gonna do is gobble up his youth on the bench for 4 years. Tyrod Taylor. You should send him the links. Yep. And if y'all see a video y'all think apply to Shedeur, just forward it to him. Just share it. So, all right. Well, we'll be back at 9:30. We'll check in on y'all, see how everybody doing, because a lot of people are sad about this. This is what they all gonna be talking about. I'm gonna take a break and be back at 9:30. And we'll just check in and see, what we can find out from there. Right. Prayers up to Shedeur and I hope the family heeds this action as a message to go there and guide him until the foreseeable future. All right. Whatever Shedeur decides, got his back. It's his party. I'm just along for the ride. Facts. Prayers up. All right, y'all. Thank you. Take a deep breath. God is in control. Facts. 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 We know that. We definitely know that. All right. I see y'all at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm good. I'm good. If I'm speaking from what I can see, I'm not surprised. So I'm good. I'm just gonna take a break because I've been talking for 2 hours. Just because I know a lot of people was hurt by this. But no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if I told y'all, but I have a master's in social work. So I know what I'm seeing. I know exactly what I'm seeing. All right. So we're gonna get out of here. I'll see y'all at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.